welcome to Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, episode 72. And we're officially, it is now time for us to move on to our last single race event in the professional league, at least in the international A license section of professional league events. Our last single race event, which is the professional race of Red Emblem. And the car I'm going to use for this, well, I'm going to be different, so I'm going to use the rear-wheel drive Turismo GTR LM road car. And let's now get some tuning on this and see what we can do. So let's have a look. I could put on the racing exhaust, but again, it's probably not worth it. Let's see. And nope, I'll just leave that as it is. Yeah, I'm trying to be as cheap as I can with my options. Yeah, I will put on the racing intercooler. I'm also gonna get myself the stage 2 turbo kit, which is important, and I'm also going to buy myself stage 3 just in case. Even though I'm pretty sure I won't be too far off the pace, because I'm pretty certain that I'll probably manage to negotiate somehow. And well, I would imagine most of the wear is going to be on the rear tyres, so I figure that's probably necessary, and you know what? I'll just leave that as it is. Okay, let's now head over to the race events once again, and where we officially get on with the professional race of Red Emblem. So, 3 race events, obviously, as are most of the single race events in this game. And tracks we are going to Tokyo, Gran Reverse, and Route 11 Reverse, and unlike the previous event, we only win 25 grand from winning each of these races in comparison to winning 30 grand from the Amateur League, and these are the cars that are permissioned to enter this event, as of which we do also have the Super GT Skylines in this. Anyways, let's get through our first race, which is in Tokyo, and where in this field we have 2 R32s, 1 R33 and 2 R34s, and I think I have enough tuning on this thing to possibly compete for the win. And well, just because I want to attempt this strategy, I'm going to go slicks on the rear, super slicks on the front, and we'll just see how we do. And here we go. Let's go to race number 1. And where I am hopeful, to say the least, that in spite of this car's super long gearing, officially I am still hopeful, to say the least, in saying that I will manage to eventually take the lead once pit stops happen. As of which, that is exactly what I am anticipating, and ironically enough, I can definitely see why exactly I'm benefiting from this particular strategy, because under many circumstances I would not usually see myself benefiting this much. But ironically enough, in this event, I am actually benefiting from this. already starting to show some wear on the left side tyres, and also hitting the concrete wall in the process where the fence is, and already manoeuvring myself up into the 4th position. More or less like I'm probably going to win this race once pit stops happen. Even though the rest of the field at the moment is currently split up, I'm hopeful that by the time pit stops occur, I will manage to hopefully give myself the interval of maybe, I do hypothesize this, but maybe achieving top honours by default on pit stops, which realistically is what I predict is probably going to happen. Anyways, 6.3 seconds, the current margin to the leaders, but again, at the moment of course, the R33 is actually doing a pretty good job of keeping up with the leaders at the present time, because they're pretty much unseparated at the moment in terms of their overall intervals, and coming across the line now to completing the 2nd lap here in Tokyo. The lead has changed hands once again, but I am pretty certain that by the time pit stops occur, that is where I will officially manage to slice my way through the field. Because even though I am running slow at the present time, I am pretty certain that I will eventually manage to take the lead once pit stops happen. And obviously, on pure pace this really doesn't matter, but obviously, since this is the professional league where rubber banding is anything but strong, I am pretty certain the contributing factor will inevitably be tyres, which, under these unlawful circumstances, will probably answer the questions of tyre longevity. Meanwhile, I have now strung myself clear away from the two R32s. Both the GTR and the GTS have pretty much vanished from my imagery, and I think it's fair to say they are nothing more than a blur in my mirror. So, 3 laps are down and still 7 to go. This is where I would imagine pit stops will undoubtedly be taking place, even though the interval at the moment is currently increasing. almost clipped the outside wall there, but managing to keep myself in this position. And I would imagine it's only a matter of time before the tyres do start giving. Now, because of how tyre wear is ironically working here at Tokyo, ultimately, in spite of me not having too much speed by comparison to these AI, effectively I am still very much in the hunt for the race win, because I'm pretty sure pit stops will take place eventually, and then once they do, that is precisely how I will manage to take the lead. Even though at the moment they appear to be extending, but you know, I'm hopeful in saying that pit stops will happen, and then once they do, because of how Tokyo has a pretty long pit lane in my honest opinion, I'm hoping that will be exactly what eventually guides me towards the race win. Even though if it doesn't, then well, I'm basically just going to head back to the drawing board. But I'm hopeful in saying that pit stops will happen around about this time, and I'm hopeful in saying that will also be what exactly becomes the guide towards the oh shit race win. Even though that will probably not help me, because I just literally belted the outside wall. As of which, I have noticed there is quite a lot of concrete around here, but yep, and there we are. The AI are now pitting, and officially, I would imagine by the end of the next lap, that is ultimately going to hand the race win over to me. Anyways, I now take the lead after 5 laps of racing. These AI have now pitted, and that officially means the victory will be as good as mine. Even though they were extending, obviously, because they have the faster cars on pure pace, the truth is, I have the stronger tyres in terms of overall durability, which is exactly what has been managing to keep me in contention for these race wins. But officially, I now lead in Tokyo for the first time because of the pit stop cycles, and I would imagine it is only a matter of time before we officially manage to determine what does happen here. And officially, I also set a new PB in the process. So I think it's fair to say that I could very well win this race as long as I hold on to the lead and not make too many mistakes with the Armcos or the concretes. And I would imagine this event will probably take me somewhere over an hour, considering we are, of course, going to Grand Valley Reverse, and then following this up with Route 11 Reverse, which I would imagine is probably going to take a lot longer. And I think I actually got some understeer from the front tyres, because I was not turning as much as I was wanting to turn, so I must have had some understeer if I was not turning the front tyres where I wanted them to turn. Even though with rear-wheel drive cars it's mainly oversteer that affects the overall balance in terms of handling. Anyways, 7 laps are now going to be in the books, and officially it is fair to say that a victory up to this point is pretty much as good as mine, regardless on how much speed I may be dropping at the moment compared to these anyway. And I think one of them is another Turismo skyline from what I can tell, even though obviously it's a 4-wheel drive Turismo skyline. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm just being dumb. Anyways, at the moment, of course, everything appears to be going okay. I'm not having any major concerns up to this point over what happens from here. The gap is basically just slicing itself down like a hot knife through butter, but I'm pretty certain that by the time we get to the final lap, their tyres will probably be worn, and that is exactly when I will manage to extend my lead again. Because even though they are closing in, obviously they do not have the superior set of boots in comparison to me, and oddly enough, I would say evidently, as long as I don't make too many mistakes in these final 2 laps, then I should be able to win this race with relative ease, regardless of how much understeer I'm currently getting from the front tyres, because they are not turning as much as I want them to turn at the moment. Also, furthermore, because there's only really don't mind me, I'm just thinking of something I had on my mind and just said it at the time. What was I going to say? Yeah, it'll probably come back to me eventually, I'm just not in my thinking element at the moment. I over-revved. final lap. And as to what I was going to say, well, that's pretty much it. Anyways, the interval has definitely sliced itself down since they pitted, and essentially it is going to be quite a struggle holding on to the lead, since I clearly know very well that both those R34s are clearly faster than me, but of course I'm pretty certain that regardless of how much quicker they currently are at the present time, ultimately I can still say at the least that I am managing to ultimately hold on to the lead overall. Also furthermore, this car itself featured in GT1 as a road car with a racing modification. And I think that same... oh, fuck me. Okay, I need to concentrate. I really cannot afford to fucking lose this. I really cannot afford to lose this fucking race. Yeah, why not? I mean, don't really have much else to lose up to this point. But it looks as though I am going to hold on for the race win. I can just manage to keep him behind me, and I just managed to pull it off. Jesus Christ, that one really came down to the wire. I wasn't even concentrating on that final lap to see how far behind the two R34s were, and then suddenly, once I saw them right in my mirrors, I knew very well they were clearly faster than me. Anyways, let's wait and see how long it is before these R32s finish. Shit. Okay, not too far back. They were only like 36 and 39 seconds respectively behind me. So not too far back, overall. Still, that was one hell of a finish. I did not think I was going to pull that off. I really had to shut the door in order to make that one winnable. Although officially, I am now going to save this replay. Considering that was basically just like... what? Oh, I should have pressed exit. Oh well. Second race. But yeah, officially, this car itself appeared in GT1 as a road car addition to the actual race car. I think this thing did come with a racing modification in GT1. It also came with a racing modification in GT2, which is basically... well, I think it came with a racing modification in GT2 as well, which was basically... the Allen addition to the race car, whilst they also made a road car exclusive to that particular variant. Also furthermore, I love how with the tail lights, this thing literally has square lights instead of having the normal rounded lights that you would see. I literally just noticed that. I noticed the tail lights on this thing are basically squares instead of the circles you would usually see on modern models. And... oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. He just sent me into a fucking spin once he got loose. What the fuck was that all about? He just fucking forced me into a spin. I wasn't even involved in the incident. That was completely unnecessary. I mean, what the fuck? What the actual fuck just happened there? He just forced me off the road as he got loose. Fucking massacred. I'm willing to bet that obviously, if a racing driver saw that sort of move and forced him into a spin, I am sure they would have probably raged over that. And already I am running on the grass. But again, it has not taken me long to catch up to the R32s, and someone is spinning. Looks like the GTS just spun as I got through the chicane. I am now closing in on the leaders once again, even though I'm hoping this time I do not get forced into a spin like I was on the previous lap. I am starting to close that interval down again. As of which the interval is now down to 8 seconds. Come on, don't hit me, don't hit me. You still hit me. Okay. Come on. Let me through. Let me through. Okay. He let me through. He did not force me into a spin, unlike the previous one. Unlike the previous bastard who did that. And yeah, I am slicing that interval down, because it is now 6.8 seconds compared to when it was originally 11 seconds. And well, because this is the professional league, I'm sure pit stops will inevitably happen, and then once they have happened, that's basically when it will be a, guess what, I just took the lead. I do not know what the fuck I'm saying. Maybe I need to actually look like I know what the fuck it is I'm actually doing. Okay, I think I've got it now. This is the professional league, where everyone needs to make a pit stop. Guess what? I am on the most durable tyres, so I do not need to make a pit stop. Ha 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 ha. Funny, I take the lead. I think I'm just going to stop. At least until I manage to take the lead. And the interval has really cut itself down. I'm really just going through this like a hot knife through butter at the moment. So apparent as it might be, the spin did not intimidate me too much on the first lap, and I am really catching up to these R34s. Well, one R33 and then the two R34s, I should say. But again, I think it's clear to say who is now the fastest man on the circuit. Even though the R33 still forcibly takes back the third position, well, I think I should probably give him a little payback for that. Even though he is probably going to do the same thing again, quite possibly. Unless he bump drafts me, maybe. He might be able. And down the inside I go. Really had to pull off a dive bomb there on the outside. And he is getting loose again. And he is sliding on both sides, literally weaving before the tunnel. And he still forces his way past me. Bitch. Yeah, that's payback, you little shit. Unless it was the one in front of me that spun me out. Well, doesn't matter. I paid one of them back at least, and that's pretty much all that matters. Because even though I don't have the straight line speed, I have the more superior cornering speed, and that's exactly what is managing to keep me ahead of the opposition. At least I think that's one of the cases. Anyways, through the hairpin we go once again, and officially I am now 3.5 seconds clear of the leading R34. And again, it's not the way I prefer to race, but obviously, if I know very well I'm racing a bunch of dicks who are literally asking for payback, then at times, of course, I do have to react suddenly just to literally give them the perfect art of revenge. Considering they're basically saying to me, he won the race but he didn't win the damn war, well, guess what? Yeah, it'll basically just be like, there's playoff races in the NASCAR Cup Series in, what was it, 2018? Yeah. Where Joey Logano basically beat Martin Truex Jr. to the line at Martinsville. And then he basically made a comment post-racing saying he may have won the race but he didn't win the damn war. And then suddenly, once they get to Homestead, guess what? He wins the fucking war. Even though realistically, to those of you who are NASCAR fans, purely I am not a supporter for the playoffs. And, oh my god, I think I'm about to overlap someone. Might be because of the constant spinning he's been doing. I'm suspecting it's probably the other two-wheel drive Skyline in this race, which is the GTS. And I think because of how many times he's been constantly spinning in this race. Yeah. He's basically just been donuting around this track pretty much all race long. I have now officially overlapped the Skyline GTS, who is clearly not getting his way around this circuit. And it doesn't matter because he comes into the pits, as do the rest of these AI. Which means, of course, that I am definitely going to hold on for the race win, regardless of what happens next. Fuck. That's a wall. Yeah, I think it's fair to say pretty much all of these AI will have overlapped. I think it's fair to say pretty much all of these AI will have probably overlapped the GTS by the time they get to the end of this lap, methinks. So 35 seconds is now the margin to the leading R34, who I think is meant to be in yellow or something. Really don't know about what the fucking colour is, but it looks like yellow. And I would say my lap times are more or less 2 minutes. At least according to these last couple of laps, it's been basically 2 minutes. And well, Gran Valley really does have a history of chomping up the tyres. Although I'm hopeful in saying that will not be the case with me. But hopefully, through one plausible circumstance or another, I will of course manage to win this race. And I almost set a sub 2 minute time. As we now have just 4 laps to go in this race. And I think it's fair to say that, unlike Tokyo, this one is definitely going to be much more of a cruise liner in terms of overall competition, because what I can make out, I am clearly dominating this thing. Anyways, 38 seconds now the margin, and that margin is only just continuing to increase, unquestionably. Sorry, 39 and a quarter seconds now ahead of the Skyline R34. I'm pretty certain by now the field has more or less been separated. At the moment, I'm just continually extending my lead. So I think it's pretty clear to say who probably will emerge as the winner in race 2. In comparison to race 1. And yeah, I set a sub 2 minute time. Okay, that's my objective done. All I can really do now is just cruise the rest of the way, basically. Anyways, here we go. We have ultimately have just 2 laps to go following this one. I'm getting understeer, which is the reason why I'm not steering as well as I should be. And officially 42 and a quarter seconds clear now. Of the first of the 2 R34s. I don't think I'm going to focus on the margins anymore, I'm just going to focus on myself. So basically what I'm doing as well, I'm just dominating the rest of this race because of how much more competent my car is in comparison to these AI, because this track definitely seems to suit me more than it does the AI, at least the reverse circuit tends to do that, and ultimately I'm pretty certain that without a doubt, up to this point, I probably will win this race with most of these. Plus, furthermore, I even overlapped the GTS to compensate. Towards what's officially going on. Fuck. Okay. And that's all. Anyways. Over the bridge once again. And we are now pretty much clear enough away from this AI regardless of what happens next. Officially, I would say victory is more or less guaranteed up to this point. GTS is now pitting in once again, so that officially means he will now go 2 laps down in this event, because that is literally how terrible that car has been throughout this race. And coming across the line now once again, my lap times are starting to drop off, although it doesn't matter too much because I'm already leading this by a long distance anyway, so realistically I have got nothing to worry about. Oh, fuck me. Dreariness. It puts me off. Because I am not concentrating. Although it doesn't matter too much because I am still very much the dominator in this event. So we've got just 2 hairpin turns left, and then once we have done these 2, I am pretty much the winner by half a lap, basically. Because I am virtually leading this race by about a minute. Pretty certain that up to this point it is going to be another win to the Turismo GTR. It's taken me over 20 minutes to achieve it. There we go, and the GTS has just finished because he was 2 laps down. Anyways, let's now wait for everybody else to get to the finish line. Finally! I won that by just under a minute over the 2 R34s. Then it was the R33, and then at the back we had the 2 R32s. The GTR ahead of the GTS because, well, the GTS throughout that race was just, well, terrible. And Yes, I do have a replay saved. And, oh okay, I did not expect ourselves to achieve it this early. But that's the prize card we get for 75% completion. A Mazda 787B, which I will show after the final race. Anyways, final race, because I know this is exactly what I need to focus on. 10 laps of Route 11 reverse. And just because I want to be cautious going into this, I'm gonna switch to stage 3. Okay, let's do this. 10 laps of Route 11. Will we win? We shall wait and see. Considering obviously I am now using a more powerful car in comparison to the previous 2 races. Fuck me. I had a slightly noticed here. Typical of many rear-wheel drive cars. Anyways, I'm up to 5th position now. Looking for 4th. I do now manage to take the 4th position. Forcibly defend from the first, the first of the 2 R32s. As of which I'm now closing in on the leaders. So maybe I did not need to put on the stage 3 turbo kit. Whoops. I was sure I was going to need it, but apparently in the end I do not. Although, it was more or less my decision because I had a feeling I might get a deficit if I didn't, so fuck it. And yep, I am following this AI into the outside wall. Right before the chicane. Anyways, 2.7 seconds now the gap to the 2 R34s. I did of course have a good reason for putting on the stage 3 turbo kit because I knew these AI were going to be stronger around this circuit than I was, and fortunately, however, I am at least managing to stay close to these AI in the early stages of this race, as of which we are only nearly 2 laps into this race. And yep, mic is still on. It is good, and at the moment, of course, these guys are doing pretty well, because they're not allowing me to get past. goes through the chicane once again, and staying close, not letting the third placed car extend by too much, even though I'm not sure about the rest. And it looks as though from here I'm probably going to have to force my way up into the third position. I may need to include some aggression if I'm going to manage to successfully slot my way up into the top 3. Oh shit. Yep, okay, I really fucked both of us there, but somehow the R33 still gave me a nudge as we went straight into the wall. Fortunately, however, I was able to benefit from that. And oddly enough, the strategy of having the super slicks on the fronts and then having the slicks on the rears, I think this strategy does actually benefit me. Trust me, it really does. I think my super slicks on the front and then the slick tyres on the back, I can definitely say I am managing to benefit from this. For everything I can assume that is currently being, intuitive. Meanwhile, at the moment, the leaders are not extending their margins too much, as of which I'm not falling too far back on this stage 3 turbo. And already we are now 3 laps into this run, 3.3 seconds is the margin now. To pretty much both of the R33s, as of which at the moment they are currently changing positions. Although this car does have some very long gears in my honest opinion. More or less what I would probably expect from a GTR. And I'm now closing that margin down, so the tyres must be getting worn up to this stage, and I would imagine it'll probably be on the next lap that they do manage to stop in for a fresh set. So I think it's fair to say up to this point I'm definitely closing in on the leaders, as of which I have now sliced that interval down to 1.65 seconds. And this could be a pass for second, and I think I just got brake tested. Almost never sure I heard the phone ringing, but obviously I'm not going to answer. And obviously I'm not going to answer it because I'm focusing on this. And I think I got brake tested there as we went through the final corner. And I am sliding into the first of the 2 R34s for some reason, even though that was not intentional. And officially, it does look as though by the time they pit, I will of course manage to officially take over the lead. And I should not have shifted down into into first gear for that corner. Fuck. Come on, stay behind me. Don't be a dick. Come on, stay behind me. Race me clean. Don't be a dick. Fuck. Anyways. The gap has now increased, but again, I'm pretty sure at this point he must be on more tyres, and I do not know where the corner is. Don't mind me. And I think I can see where the target is. I've got eyes on the target. It doesn't look like he's putting in on this lap. And I'm hopeful in saying that he will manage to pit at some point, because those tyres have got to be showing some signs of wear. Pretty sure those tyres will not hold on for much longer, even though punches are not a thing in this game. The tyres will just be completely worn down if you take them up to the red zone, because that's what I presume is meant to happen. Also, yes, I did see the illuminated Ferris wheel, which oddly enough is a pretty neat feature on this circuit, as we are heading past all of these skyscrapers. And a little bit of context there, and did not mean to force him into the wall. I did not think he actually hit the wall, and now I'm paying the price for it because I fucked myself with oversteer. Anyways, I'm in the lead. I am in the lead once again. Officially, we now have just 4 laps to go. And this is where the AI will now pit, and officially where I will ultimately manage to pretty much dominate the rest of the race. Pretty much. So everyone has now pitted, as of which the Skyline GTS is basically nowhere in this event, and I would imagine he too will probably pit on this lap, because there's no real undercuts or overcuts in terms of strategies with these races, because the AI pretty much all pit on the same lap. Coherently speaking, in this event, and I'm pretty certain from here that I will of course manage to hopefully find myself leading the rest of this race. Even though this could be interesting, because obviously it's only a matter of time before these AI start to close in on me again. Also, considering this course is basically 3 seconds longer than the Gran Valley, basically. Anyways, 7 laps have now been completed, and we still have 3 laps left. My domination here at Route 11 Reverse is inevitably going to continue because of pit stops. And I'm pretty certain that I will manage to stay out in front. So, 25 seconds now the margin. And ultimately, I would think the race win has pretty much been handed over to me. As we head through these 2 hairpins once again. Although obviously, this version of Route 11 is definitely better than the original one from GT1 because, well, the original one basically had a bus stop section where the hairpins are now placed, and obviously there's also a chicane there, but on the original Route 11 course there was basically a road that led pretty much into the middle of the course, and there was also pretty much a bus stop section where you basically had to shoot straight through the death chicanes, if you will, because that's basically what those 2 things were. They were basically death chicanes at a bus stop, because that's essentially what they were before you got around to the rest of the lap. And well, this version of Route 11 is better, but obviously I would say overall, in terms of knowing which version of Route 11 I prefer over this version and the original version, this version definitely, in my mind, beats the original version. Anyways, we now have just 1 lap to go following this. So yeah, enjoy the scenery, because that's the one thing I actually like about this circuit, the scenery. Scenery is good. Scenery is very good. Through the chicane once again, and also the left-hander at Route 11. And undoubtedly, I am going to win again. So, final lap. I think I can pretty much afford to hit the cruise button now, because since I took the lead I've been virtually unchallenged. since the AI pitted on the 6th lap. I've basically been virtually unchallenged since then. And it looks as though the lead has now traded hands again between the GTR and the V-Spec GTR once again. So the two R34s have traded hands with the lead once again, and ultimately I think that is what the finishing order is going to look like. So it seems as though the yellow skyline is going to beat the blue skyline again. Because that's basically what happened at Gran Valley. And we've just passed the 20-minute barrier, so just checking to see if my card is still on record. Yes, it is. And I'm pretty fortunate, to say the least. When I say that overall I am probably going to win this race. And coming across the line, and victory once again to the Turismo GTR, or the two-wheel drive Turismo GTR. Alright, let's wait for everyone else to finish, considering I'm going to be waiting a while. Let's see what happens with the rest of the finishing order. Alright, he has finally finished. So in the end of that, I won by 23.7 seconds over the GTR R34, and then it was the V-Spec R34 in third, followed by the R33, then the V-Spec R32 was fifth, and then at the back it was the Skyline GTS. And just checking to be sure, yep, I do have a replay saved on me, and excuse me. Let's move on to the prize card, as we get the Nissan Calisonic Skyline. And this time, unlike that time when I was on Twitch, I did not reveal any details about the prize car. But yeah, that's our prize car, the Nissan Calisonic Skyline. And so, there we go. That is pretty much all of our single race IA events done in this game, and yep, we are officially 75.1% complete with this game overall, and these are our two prize cars. So for achieving 3/4 in completion of the game, which refers to 75%, we get ourselves this Mazda 787B. Basically the only rotary powered car to officially win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And I believe the year that happened was 91, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's our first prize car. And our prize car from winning the Professional Racer Red Emblem is the Calisonic Skyline. Nice. Very nice. But dependent on knowing if I'll have some usage for this thing or not, that remains to be seen. Anyways, that was the Professional Race of Red Emblem. Next time we shall be doing the Professional GT All-Stars. So stay tuned for some more Professional League Championship racing.